Hi Aries, welcome back to my channel. It is Christy here to do your March 2020 extended monthly forecast. So I want to begin by thanking each of you for supporting my bi-weekly readings for your sign, in addition to supporting me on Instagram for your daily free readings. That is the electricity flashing on and off. We have a major ice storm today, so I'm just gonna keep going whether or not the power stays on. So we're looking at an extended forecast for you, Aries. This is for Aries Sun, Aries Moon, and Aries Rising signs. And of course, I'm now in this delicious habit of laying a qualifying, look at that, the Empress jumping out for you. Lots of growth potential for you, lots of prosperity. We'll see if it shows up in your spread. I was just in the middle of saying I am going to pull a second layer on top of your Celtic spread today. So we're going to do a Celtic spread, lay a second layer, and then all four of my oracle decks, we're going to get a card from each of them for an additional message for you. So it's going to be a little bit more extended, a little bit more in depth than your bi-weeklies. Let's slide right into it, Aries. What is in store for Aries for March 2020? Messages for Aries, Sun, Aries Moon, and Aries Rising for March 2020. Messages for Aries, Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising. And we have some more, I was going to say Pentacles. I know the Empress technically isn't Pentacles, but it is a lot of growth potential, a lot of creative growth here. You could have money coming to you. Let's see what's in store here, guys. Yeah, and you have like the completion, near completion of a major thought process or decision making here. I'm learning so much more about the tarot the more I do it, and I've learned that this is not always a negative thing here, the 9. This can be about accomplishment, so you could be defeating some negative thoughts here. I'm going to try to stop looking at these jumpers and get right to your reading today, Aries. Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising for March 2020. All right, guys. So let's get your main spread out. I think you can see these fairly easily now that I've got the camera set up a little differently, so that's nice. You can see what I'm laying down, and you'll be able to see the other layer here as well. So I'm seeing a couple of individuals straight off the bat. We're looking at possibly an air sign, a water sign. More than likely we're dealing with Pisces, Libra individuals, but of course it can be any air or water sign. I move these over slightly. See if you can see all of these here is my goal. Move this over a teeny bit. Bear with me here, folks. It's still a fairly new setup, but I do prefer it. I hope you like this better than the last. These can go right over here. This is just my sweet little gem collection. All right, so as you can see, we're dealing with a lot of strong energy, a lot of finishing, completion energy. Even though we're only dealing with 110 here, I see a lot of strength of character. Of course, we're dealing with strength over here. Here's some more pentacle energy, right? Temperance. We have the 2, the 6, and the 5 of swords, and then finishing off here with your advice card being the Ace of Cups, just because I'm obsessed with the bottom of the deck. We are going to look at this. We're not going to pay too much attention to it. But I will put it in the background for you, and then we're going to do this with the other deck as well. But there's a lot of soul here, guys. There is the new beginning, moving out into a new direction. You're going places that you haven't really discovered before, and this isn't worrying you too much, and it could be the reason for a lot of excitement here as well. So that's, oops, bottom of the deck energies, the Fool. Really nice to see, right? Because no matter what is you're going to be dealing with or is approaching you in the month of March, it looks like there's a lot of hope and faith behind it. So the cards representing you and what is crossing you, or essentially what is concerning you at this time during the month, is the 8 of Pentacles, crossed by, of course, the Knight of Cups here. So a lot of sweet messages regarding an apprenticeship, how you work, where you work, what is what you're becoming an expert at. It could be an expert at love. It could be an expert at communicating love. Like I say, we do have this advice card at the end, like a new beginning in love, possibly a new offering in love. We know that the Knight of Cups is very, very sensitive. This is a somewhat poetic, excuse me, poetic person or energy. So it could be that you could be working on poetry, working within the poetry, within the element of the poetic world, sensitivity. There's a great deal of growth potential here. It looks like there's a lot of kindness, but a great development around this situation. Here we have, you know, what is crowning you. This is sort of what's at the top, what is overseeing. So if this isn't actually a person, this is the energy of, you know, Libra energy or air sign energy. This is a really thoughtful, wise, intellectually minded person. You can see she's got this massive owl here. I think it's some sort of white owl. I forget the name of it. Anyway, it has a very specific name. The Queen of Swords is often considered the divorce queen, but this is a very nurturing person of themselves, and this is why they're considered to be cold, right? Not everyone's favorite person, but you can rely on this person or energy for two things. Number one, the truth. This person puts truth before anything, and it's the most important thing to them. And the second thing is they put themselves first. And this is often considered selfish or cold, but it actually, how else are you supposed to get through life if you don't put yourself first? So this is actually really conscientious energy, I'm going to suggest here. We do have at the foundation, we have this 10 of Pentacles. This is a really gorgeous, rich accomplishment. This is, endings and beginnings concerning income, finance. This could be wills and estates. This is a legacy card, right? So we're looking at issues of grandchildren and grandparents here. This could have to do with banking or investments or a return at this time. In your recent past, or sort of following you right now, is the Temperance card. This is a very healing card. We know it's Jupiter ruled, so there's a lot of Sagittarius hopefulness here. And I do see this again with this Fool. I see it with this really loving Ace of Cups here. So no matter what is going on behind the scenes here, guys, and I think you're really mentally able to pull out of something or mentally willing to grow, particularly around issues of the heart and meaning and soul development here. I think that you're becoming acutely aware of this in terms of you don't even want to avoid it anymore. You don't even want to look past it. This isn't a burden anymore. This is a delight for you. So this is a really big turning phase for you, quite possibly, Aries, in the month of March. Love really is the answer for you, or at least you're yearning for that. You're looking for that. Like I said, I want to back up for a tiny second and look at the characters here in terms of court cards with this Pisces and Libra. Technically, could be air or water signs in general. But in terms of their houses, right, we're looking at the 7th and the 12th houses. We're looking at relationships and we're looking at major endings and beginnings. So, this is a general reading, right, guys? So depending on what's going on in your life right now, it could be that you are trying to balance these areas of your life. This could literally mean a divorce for you. Like, there's thousands of you watching, thank God. So, use these messages in relation to what you're currently going through, because you do look like you're going to come out on something, but there is a little bit of a mental or communicative battle to be measured or sort of, walked through or experienced here. Here we have a Strength, as you can see, card 11 in the major arcana. It is sometimes called the Justice card. But Strength really is about strength of character. It's about pulling through something. It's about the willpower. This is about, and we do have, right, and you can see this Knight of Cups, really looking at this Strength card here. So there's a lot of strength of emotional character that is available to you, or that you are developing or exhibiting here, which is a major leap in your own personal, sense of self and your sense of relationships and sense of belonging. So here in the position that represents the phase that you're currently up against, like what is working for you, right? This is technically working for you, a major decision, right? So it doesn't seem like it's going to be a major decision, but It is. This is how you're seeing yourself in this position, how you're creating your own next move, your own reality. And you know there is a decision necessary here. This is just basically facing facts. You could feel torn one way or the other, but because it's a really low, we're low on the totem here when it comes to sort of, you know, our numbered minor arcanas. We're looking at something that could possibly even change. I think a decision may be necessary now, but it won't be set in stone. Here in the position, how other people see you is, you know, a move away from conflict, a move away from a situation where there was emotional discord, where there was maybe, and we do have the 5 sort of after that in your hopes and fears. So at least the people around you are seeing as someone who is easy to communicate with, who is easy to talk to, easy to relate with. It could be that you could somewhat be burying or be fearful of this coming back sort of to haunt a situation, or to create a little bit of chaos, as we know the 5s do. But this is a lot of movement. So the 5s are supposed to be chaotic because it's supposed to shake us up from something a little bit uncomfortable. So it could be that you need to decide again. That's the only thing. Like I said, here back with the 2 of Swords, you could make a decision here. It could smooth something over temporarily, or you could be, you know, smooth sailing for a little while at least. But, you know, the fear here, or even the hope, is that it will come back around, or something isn't necessarily solved. But it looks like you can choose again, or a new offering or situation will be available to you where you can lead with love, or the answer will be found through love, or through a new opportunity at love, or expression. There's a lot of sensitivity here with all the cups. So here's where I'm going to just do a little shuffle poo with our with my little mini deck, and I'm going to lay a second layer on top just to flesh this out a little bit. All in all, Aries, there's nothing really upsetting or tumultuous looking here for you. It looks pretty easy peasy. Like I said, I think that you could want something, or need, or be sensitive to something that's being said or thought or believed here, and you could even want it to be a different way. And like I said, so that the balancing out of these 2 worlds for you, the heart and the mind. But you have the strength of character for this. I don't see, unless we see something coming out of this deck here, I don't see this being on repeat necessarily, but it could feel karmic. So it could be, say, a karmic debt or a karmic relationship with another person. You know, something that you feel you've already been through and you learned a lesson, for example, but you're experiencing something again with another, you know, the same situation again with another person. So in that sense, it could feel karmic. But that has nothing to do with the other person, right? It's still you. So going within, really maybe seeing what's on your mind. We have the Emperor just sort of like laying upright as I'm shuffling here. We have some Aries energy. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, Aries, you're always going to be in charge, and that may be freeing or unsettling to you, depending on how you're looking at that. I think it is important to be fully the leader of yourself. However, don't worry about guiding others at this time. You know, you're not a beacon for other people. You're not a tool for other people. You really do have to look out for number 1 this month, guys. So let's get these cards down for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay these like I did the first set, and we'll see what other messages are coming up here. Strength showing up again, guys. I am not entirely interested in reading reversals. I may look at the reversal concept of this. I'm going to straighten this so I remember that, just for the heck of it. I do think there's a reason why that comes out that way, even though I always shuffle upright. We will look. Here's our King of Swords, right? Bottom of the deck energy. We're going to put it next to the Fool. So again, truth is king, right? Truth is extremely important to you. Truth is leading the way. Again, there is a sense of clinical coldness here. Not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, you can trust this person. You can rely on this person. This person is very wise, incredibly intelligent. However, not the warmest Not the warmest person necessarily. So there could be some judgment here as well. There could be a legal matter here as well. There could be someone who is of enormous esteem in some sort of intellectual or institutional arts. And it could be something, you know, from doctors, lawyers, judges. Someone in a position of intellectual or educational or even media power. All right, so we have 4 of Cups and a 7 of Wands over our 8 of Pentacles and our Knight of Cups. Yeah, so a little bit of boredom, feeling uninspired, and then sort of protecting that somehow. I do think that there is enormous growth potential here. I think if you are inspired to elevate either in the workplace or a financial situation, you can do it through being inspired. I would actually take a lack of inspiration as a sign for you to get busy. We're going to work on something here. We're going to be creative. It could very well have to do with relationships. It could have to do with poetry, creativity of some sort here though. And it's well regarded. Like I said, this is something that is going to feel good to you, and it's going to help create an expertise for you. Here in what's crowning you, sort of the qualifying card in what's crowning you over the Queen of Swords is the Page of Wands. This is really nice. Again, we're looking at some more creative energy around how you're going to delineate your thoughts, how you're going to communicate. Which direction are you going here? I mean, if this is a literal divorce for you, you're really pleased about it. This is a good position for you to be in. If there is a mental divorce or a mental or communicative, say, calamity or, you know, disparaging or, you know, just unsolvable issue, here it looks like it's just going to take, it has to take its course. It looks like that's what's going on there. It's definitely having to do with a family member here, guys, someone close to you, someone with regard to a legacy issue. Could have to do with grandparents, grandchildren, something having to do with shared finances. Definitely a family member. We are dealing with the 6 of Cups here, which sits over the 10 of Pentacles, which is at the foundation of the issue for you. And this is really about sentimentality, the past, someone coming back from the past into your life, someone who creates sort of an emotional urge or an emotional reaction from you, someone who you maybe used to be sweet for, sweet with, someone who used to be a member of the family, someone who you wish was a member of the family, etc. Generally speaking, I'm going to suggest this is a child. You're either the child or the parent in this situation. But yeah, someone that you think of fondly, and could have to do with wills and estates here as well. Over our Judgment card is the Strength, right? So we're seeing Strength twice, sitting really sort of mirroring each other here, which is quite nice. So Temperance is, and the author here called it patience. This really is what is necessary at this time. Trying to rush anything or hurry something because you want it a certain way, or because it makes you feel better, or even because you think it's the right thing to do. Again, I would, contemplate less about other people and really position yourself in the center for the month at least here, guys. Strength of character will be necessary during a patient period for you. And then we have the Sun, this glorious, successful Sun over the other Strength card, which is in your near future, right? So this is really nice. You're going to be rewarded for this. You're going to be front and center. This is a leadership position for you. And whether you are doing, and I'm going to suggest you don't do it for accolades, but you could very well get accolades for it or be considered someone who is a leader in that field, or someone who is very, very good at a sense of self-control and willpower. Again, we're looking at an issue of a child. There could be a baby here. This could be your child, someone else's child. You could be dealing with a Leo as well. Here we have the 2. We have 2 2s, wow, on top of each other. So again, decisions. But again, like with all 2s, you're not necessarily locked into it. You're just trying to sort of balance something out here. He sometimes has it over his head, but it's actually the balance of the 2 Pentacles here. We're looking at an infinity symbol. I want to mention as well that the Strength has an infinity symbol as well. So again, you could be dealing with the same person in a karmic matter again. However, it doesn't have to be the same person. It can just be the same karmic lesson. So a decision, no matter what, will probably have to be maneuvered or manipulated here in order to stick or stay sturdy. You are dealing with a great deal of major arcana. By the time we get to, you know, the 5th, the 6th, and then the rest of your reading are all major arcana. So these are going to have significant impacts, it looks like. But they're not necessarily negative, and you have to make a decision one way or the other anyway, so just make one. Feel confident in that. It's not going to be upsetting or perturbing because it will turn out. The Chariot did come out upside down, so in reverse on the 6 of Swords. Really what's that saying is you're not getting as far as you think you are, whether this is physical travel or with his pulling full force ahead. If you're dealing with a Cancer individual, you may be fooling yourself because this other person can see through something here. You could be aware that you could be fooled by a Cancer at this time as well, that something could be smoothed over, but it's not really smoothed over. So just something to think about there. And that's in reverse. If it is, and I will maintain that it's in its upright, this is that a new communication style with a Cancerian person or with 4th house energy. Of course, this is the home, the family, the child, the first trauma, the mother. You know, there is still going to be some underlying conflict here, or at least there's a fear of something being unsaid or still in conflict. A new page is turning, though. You could be dealing with a Taurus individual, I want to mention as well. Just so many characters here, guys. There's like Cancer individuals, there are Leos, there are Libras, or again, like relationships and balance. Taurus over here. Like I said, we have some really strong Libra, we have Aquarius, we have, you know, that Sagittarius ruled Temperance. And then this World, right? The World is just like major completions. So because the Hierophant, this sort of like sturdy, stable, institutional stability, nothing will ever change over here, I think you just technically have to get through something necessarily difficult or troublesome to bring you to a place of love and acceptance and emotional freedom, because the Hierophant does sit on top of the Ace of Cups here. So something that was troubling or a little bit confusing, or that you didn't know which side of the fence you sort of sat on here, definitely looks like it's going to be settled by the end of the month. So that's really nice to see. Let's get your oracle cards out for you guys. All right, so we have 3 jump out. It's a little excessive, but we'll take them. So we have Power, Woman, Medicine, and Diversion. So we're dealing with the animals opossum, otter, and horse. I'll begin with the horse. The horse is power. This is an interesting concept because power, it's almost like when people say selfish. It's like, oh, selfish, that's such a bad thing. Don't be selfish. But selfish is actually very positive. If we were all selfish, we'd probably all be better off. And I don't mean in terms of knocking other people down, like abusing power. I'm talking about putting yourself first, and that's really a positive thing, especially for women, and we're sort of like socialized that it's not. But power is really horse is really talking about power with or power over, right? Do you have power over others, or do you have power over yourself? Do you have power with others, or are you trying to withhold power from others? So how power is used is very important here. Otter medicine, right in the center card, the number 8 is woman medicine, right? This is connecting with other women. This is exploring feminine issues, exploring feminine health. Really, honoring the female and the feminine side of things. If you are a female Aries watching, it is honoring yourself, honoring your life story, and honoring, you know, the gifts and talents and uniqueness that is in being female. I do see the woman medicine as also being a great protector of women and girls as well. Then we have a possum here with diversion. You could be trying to get away with something, or someone's trying to get away with it with you. I just see more or less trying to put something off here that really isn't going anywhere, so there's really no point in trying to put it off. It's just sort of sucking up time. I think the strength of character is coming up twice, more or less, to remind you that you can do this. Like, don't put it off. It's unbecoming, and you can get through it. Even if it's a pain in the butt, just trust yourself that you can get through it. here with the Strength. You don't necessarily want this to be on repeat anyway, right? You kind of want whatever it is that's sort of sucking your energy or sucking your talent or your creative or love potential. Like, that needs to be explored and released. You don't want to hold back on that. Here we go. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. We're seeing children kind of everywhere in this reading for you. So children are extremely important in the month of March for you guys. I'm looking specifically here at the Sun, the Six of Cups, and again with the literal children card, guys. So, wow. Something having to do with children. Either you're the child, there's a parent, you're the parent dealing with the child here. It's just occurring to me right now that if you're a married person or coupled and there is a child or grandchild involved right now, you could be sparring or in a dispute with your partner over the child. Just occurred to me. Wow. Okay, Aries. Okay. Miracles. So 100% just believe in these, expect these. Expect miracles. Maybe even, you know, remind yourself if you have to, guys, because sometimes in a little bit of a tug and war or some sort of conflict, we just feel like it's going to be the end of us sometimes. So, you know, have some faith that something really, really positive will turn out for you and expect a miracle. Yeah, we have by the book, which is really speaking to the Hierophant here, and observer. So you're being asked to do two things here, guys. So the observer is taking the eagle eye view, right? Looking at it from as objective a point of view as possible. Take yourself out of the equation if possible and look at it from a loving perspective. See how you would act on the situation then. And then by the book, someone's watching you, right? Someone's calculating, someone's being somewhat critical. So cross those T's and dot those I's. If someone around you is trying to get away with something, make sure they follow the rules. Make sure they don't try to get away with something. But, you know, if the rule is love, then you can observe that from a higher perspective and really take action on that. I would say by the third week of the month, you could be dealing with a little bit of communicative upset. And by the very end of the month, everything's going to come out in the wash is the way that I would put it here. So also with the Sun, I want to mention that something will be revealed. So a strength of character or a strength of will, or will to power, will to truth, the power of truth. The Sun reveals everything. So something that could have been under wraps having to do with a family is going to be or could be exposed here, and everyone's going to be better for it. So that concludes your reading. Did I get through all my cards? Yes, I did. I love these extended readings for you. I really hope that you enjoy them as well as your bi-weeklies. Please like and subscribe, share my videos, guys, and comment below. What does this mean to you as an Aries? Does this make sense to you? Was this helpful? So that is it, my friends. Until we meet in your next video, take excellent care. Bye for now.